What's going on YouTube? This is Ken from Ken's How To's and Reviews. Today I'm going to do a short brief review of the Altra Torin 6 and 7. Now these tennis shoes are pretty awesome, but they do have some pros and they do have some cons. So to begin with, this is the Torin 6. This is the new Torin 7. So we originally, my wife and I purchased these types of tennis shoes because she had a condition in her foot called a neuroma. And neuromas are a ball of nerves in your forefoot that are typically caused by narrow footwear. If you notice, these are very wide toe box shoes, and today's modern footwear, it's very narrow. And what that does is it presses on your bones press on nerves, and then your nerves, to protect themselves, they create this little ball of nerves that is always pinched by your foot. And typically surgery is what doctors recommend for this, but in my research, I completely healed my wife's condition by using toe spacers and wide footwear. So these tennis shoes are awesome if you kind of have foot issues related to neuromas or anything else. But if you notice from left to right, these are my oldest pair. And I'll just go over the negatives first because as much as I do love these shoes, I think they have more cons than they do pros. But I've just dealt with it because I just like having a wide footwear option. But one of the first things that I noticed about this tennis shoe is this area in the tennis shoe always comes apart. It always rubs this material off. So the older they are, the more this just gets tattered and ripped. And honestly, I had these probably 2 or 3 months and it started doing this. So this is not like an issue after you have them for 2 years, 1 year, and it starts. This starts pretty early on. Another issue is that the material in the forefoot is very weak. So you'll notice that you'll get these rips. There's some rips too. That's another con. You don't have to have them very long before they start doing this. Another one is I've had to super glue these bottoms on. You'll see these start coming apart. I don't know if there's a quality control issue with glue, but this was a big pain. So I've had to multiple times super glue this down. I will say that problem has only occurred in this pair. I did not have any issues with glue or quality control issues with that on the soles with this pair. But you can see where the heel rubbing is also an issue with this pair as well. So that's the Torin 6, but those are the cons. So the pros, incredibly comfortable shoe. The wide toe box allows your foot to spread out. It does not hurt. Your toes are not pinched up for long runs. It's amazing. I will say you will need to get used to these shoes because they do have what's called a zero drop. Wide toe box and a zero drop. So most modern day shoes have a heel. And what that does is it shortens your Achilles tendon when you wear a heel. So then when you take your shoes off, your tendon stretches back out. This does not do that to your calf muscle and your Achilles tendon. This is called zero drop. So that will take some getting used to because your feet are usually used to being in a shoe that has a platform on this end, and then that platform gets skinny down by the forefoot. It's almost like you're wearing high heels all the time. So that can create heel issues, calf muscle issues. This will mitigate that, but it does take some getting used to. So this is the Torin 6. I'll put this to the side. So this is the Torin 7, and I'll have to say I'm incredibly impressed with the new version of this shoe. I'll just put it right next to each other. The first thing that I noticed is that this shoe has a lot more cushion. It's still a zero drop, but it has a lot more cushioning. I wouldn't say it's like, what are those shoes? Hoka's. It's not quite Hoka's. It's in between a Hoka and the previous version of the shoe. But you can see that's a bit less cushion. And you can even tell when you put these on, there's less cushion with these versus these. So these are, there's much more material involved with this shoe than the 6. They're more comfortable, they're more bouncy. They still have a 0 drop, still wide toe box, but they just look a little more aesthetically pleasing. They kind of look like a modern day tennis shoe. So far the heel has not rubbed off on these. I've had them about 4 months and have not had any issues with this yet. So I'll be excited if this set, if the Torin 7 does not have the heel rubbing issue. Now, I will say this is a pain because it's a quality issue, but it does not rub my heel raw. So that's one positive about that. But for the most part, these are incredibly comfortable, good cushioning. One thing I would say, the sizing from the 6 to the 7, these have a lot more room. So in this, I wore an 11. In this, I could have done an 11 and a half. I think that's right. Let me see what these are. Yeah, these are 11. So I could have done a 10 and a half in these versus an 11 in these. I think that's right. I don't want to tell you guys something. Yeah, so these are both 11s, and I could have gone down a half size because they're just, you can see there's a lot of material, huge toe box. But, you know, the best thing to do is just go and try some on. So my feet are going to be different than yours. But they're incredible shoes. They look good, come in some great colors. But overall, an amazing shoe if you have any foot issues or foot health problems that you want to resolve. So yeah, that's it. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.